Stillness, being quiet, it does not equal weakness. So let's talk about why girls quit way too early and how we can fix it. Stillness and being quiet, it gets a really bad rap because girls think that stillness means that they're weak, or that silence means uncertainty, and pausing means that they're falling behind. But that is completely wrong. And today I'm going to flip that for you. Because stillness and quietness is where your moxie actually, it resets. Moxie isn't loud, it's not dramatic, it's not the main character energy. It's that quiet, steady refusal to quit, even when the world expects you to. So let's break this down so you can use it in your real life today. First of all, stillness is a strategy. It is in no way a setback. And here's an example of what usually happens. You try something new, you hit a wall. It feels uncomfortable and your brain whispers, see, this is why we should stop. Well, typically girls will quit right there because they mistake that pause for powerlessness. But stillness is not giving up. No, stillness is grounding yourself so you don't act out of panic or ego or fear. Stillness lets you see the next step instead of sprinting into the wrong one. And this is where your critical thinking ingredient kicks in. You know, the quiet assessment. And when you combine that with grit and moxie, well, we know what that builds, right? It builds confidence. So why do girls confuse quitting with taking a breath? Well, think about it. We grew up in a culture that celebrates speed. Hustle, grind, push, go. Just don't stop. Girls get praised for being busy, but rarely are they getting praised for being thoughtful. So when a girl slows down, even for a second, she thinks something's wrong with her. But slowing down is the exact thing she needs to avoid quitting too early. So let me say it clearly. You don't quit because you're weak. You quit because you never learned to rest without abandoning yourself. And stillness teaches you. It will teach you the difference. It is how moxie regroups, resets after a failure, or what you interpret as failure. So let's talk about that moment after the mistake. Not that big dramatic failure, but the small ones. I mean, you get nervous, right? You forget what you were doing. I mean, maybe you didn't perform how you wanted, or someone made a face and it just spiraled you. And that's the micro hit that knocks most girls just completely off course. But moxie isn't about pushing harder after failure. It's about staying steady after the failure. And Moxie says, I don't need to explode out of this. I just need to hold my ground just long enough to take the next right step. That's stillness. That is strength. So stillness plus grit plus critical thinking equals confidence, confidence that lasts. So the recipe is simple. We know it, right? Grit plus moxie plus critical thinking equals confidence. Grit, it gets you into the arena. Moxie, it keeps you from running out of the arena. And critical thinking helps you slow down long enough to see what's actually happening. But stillness is where critical thinking does its best work. Stillness is where moxie regains energy. And stillness is where grit gets direction. And this is why girls who learn to pause without quitting get further. So let's think of 3 things to practice today so you don't quit early. Okay? You can use these today. So the 20-second reset. Before you quit anything, just breathe. Just breathe for 20 seconds. Let your brain settle. Most of your panic will dissolve in that time of window. Number 2, the micro next step rule. Don't think about the whole task. Just do the next small step. Moxie grows 1 inch at a time. Small steps. And 3rd, the truth check. Ask yourself, do I want to quit or do I just feel uncomfortable? Because those are never the same thing. You are not weak. You're just early in the process. Girls quit because they don't recognize the stage they're in. They think discomfort, that equals failure. They think stillness equals falling behind. And they think that pausing is losing, but none of that, not one of those are true. You're early, you're learning, you're leveling up, and your moxie is building in the quiet. So, before you scroll, answer this in the comments. Where did you quit too early? And what tiny next step could you take instead? Put it in writing. Let other girls see that they're not the only ones fighting the urge to give up too soon. I've quit a lot of things in my life at an earlier age, and now that I'm older, let me tell you, I see it through. I use that, and I use my own lessons to continue. So I hope this helped you today.